This video is for those people who are stuck currently working 24/7 inside their own agency or like working for someone else and they're not able to get out of this rat race. So we're going to be talking about productivity. It's going to be a fully no bullshit guide. It's not going to be about waking up at 5 a.m. David Goggins style, go to the gym every day, read books, that kind of bullshit. I'm going to be sharing you all the stuff that I'm also doing right now that helped me scale my agency from 0 to over 300K a month in the last 4 years. So in the beginning, we have to break down what do the most productive people have in common. Those people don't have more time. Time 24 hours in a day. So they are basically capped, also as you. They are not able to put in more hours into their tasks. What do they have differently? They have better systems. Sorry for my bad handwriting. They have better system that they are using. They have a better structure. They're able to have more leverage while they are working. So again, this video is not going to be about some top 10 ways or some tips video. It's not going to be like a tip video of like, hey, do these 2 things. It's not about that. I'm going to be giving you my exact framework that I'm also using. First of all, we have to first break down what productivity really is. Productivity means the least amount of input to get the maximum output. This is productivity. This is broken it down. This is not reading books or going to the gym or meditating or doing anything like this. Productivity, least amount of input to get the maximum output. So for example, if you're not going to the gym at all, you're not going to get any muscle, right? But if you are no gym, zero muscle, right? If you go to 1 hour a day, means like 8 out of 10 muscle. But if you do, for example, 2 hours a day, you might be getting 8.5 out of 10 muscle. So, for example, in this case, what is the highest productivity? It's going to be this, the middle one. When you're putting in only 1 hour a day, and then you're getting 8 out of 10 results. This person not putting anything in, they're not getting any input. This person who is spending 2 hours a day and getting 8.5, this is going to be the law of diminishing returns. There's also a huge, how should I say it, like a huge belief that if you put in more hours, then you're going to get more output, which can be true for some tasks, but in most cases, if you're like a CEO, that's complete bullshit. Because of the law of diminishing returns, it's going to be completely bullshit. So let me draw it down for you guys. Going to be result. It's going to be input. Here is how the law of diminishing returns look like. This is, let's just say, 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour, 4 hour, 5, 6, 7, 10. You get my point. So with this, if you put in like 1 hour, you are getting better results. 2 hours, better results, better results, better results. But after, if you are working like 10 hours a day, in the beginning, for the first couple hours, you're going to be getting the most amount of output. But after the 10th hour, for example, you're not going to have that much energy. You're not going to be as productive as you were in the beginning. So we have to make sure that it is as optimized as possible in this case. As I mentioned, least amount of input to get the maximum output. So how are we able to achieve this? Then we have to look at what kind of tasks we are doing. This is where leverage is going to come in place. I'll write it down. leverage. This basically means where you are able to get the most amount of output. For example, if you spend 5 hours reading a bullshit self-help book, or you spend 5 hours, for example, coping in Telegram groups, or you spend 5 hours optimizing your systems, you are putting in the same amount of hours, right? But which one do you think is going to be the best for you long term? Which one is going to get you the most results? This one, because this has the most leverage, right? Also, this is going to be your task to find out which tasks has the most leverage and only focus on that, on this one, on optimizing itself. Not on this, not on reading, not on checking out all the chatting yourself, not on this bullshit task, but the only things where you have the biggest leverage. Make sense? So, how can we start with this? Another misconception with productivity is people think that they have to do more, but that's not the point. Doing more is complete bullshit. So what I do is I delete everything that interferes with my top work. So instead of doing more, actually it's going to be about doing less but better. But you don't have to be doing more. That's not going to be the main thing. It's about doing less, but those tasks have to actually matter, where you again have the most amount of leverage. Make sense? Okay, Army, but how do I find out how can I do less? Which of my tasks can I delegate, or like what should I exactly do? So with this, we have to list all of your tasks. List tasks. Sit down and put together like what did you do today, yesterday, or this week. And then once you have like 10, 20, 30 things, then look at those and decide which one of those are $3 an hour tasks per hour, $10 per hour, and $1,000 per hour tasks. These two, like all the managerial shit, which is like sending proxies, looking for subreddit lists, all these like tedious work is fucking bullshit. Like this, you shouldn't be doing it. This is everything that you should be handing over to someone else, which is here where we have to be using the ADD framework. $3, $10 per hour task, ADD framework, the $1,000 tasks, you should be doing it yourself. This is how you're going to be more productive. So you might be asking, what is the ADD framework? It's going to be automate, delegate, and delete. Automate, you can, for example, use Zapier or even ask Claude how you can automate X, Y, and Z tasks. Delegate, hire VAs, hire managers to do it, and delete if you think that a task that you were doing is like not going to give you any more upside. It doesn't have any leverage. So for example, watching 30 hours of Netflix per week. Fucking delete that. So far, all of this is to be saving you time. Everyone knows that time is the most precious thing that you can have, especially as an entrepreneur. But there is one thing that no one is talking about. Everyone is just like, yeah, save time, save time, save time. But time is worthless without energy. Because you can have 10 hours of work, but if you don't have any energy, you are just fully lethargic and you're not motivated at all, then the 10 hours is not going to be productive, right? So we have to make sure that we are protecting your energy and utilizing it the best possible. So how can you utilize it? It's going to be about managing your day and peak energy tasks first. This is what you should be starting with in the morning. And then as you go by the day, least energy. So for example, coming up with like a new marketing method or writing SOPs or anything that's like super consuming, you should be starting with that. And those like super shitty managerial tasks or responding to models, which takes the least amount of energy, should be at the end of your day. Because if you are switching this up, you're basically fucking yourself. So like, don't do that. Another important thing with the peak energy state, and usually working every single day, is going to be the flow state. Because you might have super high energy. You might have 10, 12 hours a day to work. But if you're not in flow, if you're not able to focus on your work, it's going to be again worthless. Because what you can achieve in flow state in 5 hours, without it, it might take 10. So actually, if you're not utilizing it, you're going to be less productive. So with the flow state, how I'm basically hacking it is I have a flow state routine. This is basically like a Pavlov effect for my body. Because when I start work, I begin with an incense stick, a tea, a monster, and also like binaural audio soundtrack. These things I do before work. So whenever I start brewing my tea, I drink a monster, start listening to this music, my brain already knows that it's time to fucking show up, it's time to work. And when I do this, I'm instantly into my flow state. In regarding to your energy levels, I'll just delete this, there's also a super important thing, which is going to be decision fatigue. If you guys are also interested in that part, then make sure to comment down below decision, and then I'm going to launch it in the next couple of days. So we discussed flow state, and then you should be structuring your day with your most important thing. So now let's talk about how to structure your whole day. Structure the day. So with this, we have to start the day before. In this, decide what you're going to do tomorrow. Already make time slots for yourself. So you're going to know from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. you're going to be working on like better scripts, for example. Because with this, you're going to be forcing yourself to do those tasks first. And second is to limit yourself on how much time you can put into each of these tasks. And also, you're going to look back that day and know where you can improve. With all of this, you have to write it down, either on like an iPad or to paper. Important, write down. Not in your mind, but actually write it down on like a piece of paper. Okay? Next, this is the first thing. Next is going to be the protected morning. This is where you are going to have the highest energy, right? So you have to make sure that it is as protected as possible. But you might say right now, but Army, I'm not able to do that because I'm getting 200 messages and I'm managing so many things that I'm not able to focus for 2, 3, 4 hours just on working. The unfortunate truth about it, it's not a time problem. It's about a system problem because you are still stuck on working inside your business and not on your business. So if you're not able to do this, then it's a system problem. And with this, you have to be doing highest leverage. Highest leverage tasks in the morning. And as the time goes by, or as the day passes, then you can do the least and least and least energy consuming things. And I would recommend doing 2 time slots, 2 time slots for reactive work. Reactive work is checking out Discord, messaging guys on Telegram, or doing anything which is also related to someone else. so the reactive work, 2 time slots. I also made this mistake when I was just starting out with my business, is I was constantly responding right away in like 1, 2, 3 minutes. Responding now is a no-go because again, you're constantly going to be outside of your flow state because you're constantly hopping out of it and focusing on other bullshit tasks. Do not respond now. Again, you might think that, okay, but X, Y, and Z are super urgent things. They are not. Like once you do this, once you only have like 2 time slots per day, like 1 hour each, then you're going to realize that most of your tasks and most of these messages are not important that well. It's not that urgent. If you are constantly responding to everyone within 1, 2, 3 minutes, then that is what they're going to expect from you. If they expect this from you, then you are going to be their slave to their time. But you should be the boss and you should own the company and not vice versa. Not the company owns you. Okay? And in the end, at the end of the day, then it goes back to day before, decide tasks, time slots, so on and so on. Okay? And every single week, I would recommend doing a weekly review of how that week went. In this weekly review, you have to write down what was achieved that week, what moved the needle, and also the 3 most important things that you did that week. This is what I always do every single week. Also keep it in your notes or put it into your notebook or something like this, but also write this shit down. Okay, and just to wrap up this whole video, I want you to at least, if you just forgot everything that I said during this video, then remember this one. Productivity is about ruthlessly focusing on the most important work while decreasing BS tasks. Okay, this is productivity. Not reading books, not logging on to Telegram for the 50th time today. This is productivity. Okay, guys, I really hope that you enjoyed this video. This was my first like whiteboard-ish video. So like, let me know in the comments, like, was this good? Like, be completely honest with me. If it was dog shit, then I'm not going to continue with this. But make sure to give me some feedback if you guys like this type of videos. If you have been stuck with your agency for many months now, you don't know like where to go next, and you also want some help on getting unstuck and actually scaling your agency, then click the link in the description down below, and we're going to have like a totally stress-free, nope, not pushy, just like a one-on-one call with me. Then we're going to discuss how we can potentially work together. Peace out.